The one other thing I want to talk about with Southern California is when my aunt, Elaine, came to visit. I was only around 2 at the time. My mother didn't really enjoy any of the other side of the family. My aunt Elaine is my father's sister, and she is one of the very important, very special aunts to me. She is still alive and lives about 3 hours away from here down by the river, the Rio Grande, in a place called Truth or Consequences. Anyway, she probably had moved down there by that time. The thing I want to talk about is when she came to visit us. I remember swinging on the swing with her, and she definitely felt that I was a very spirited child. I wanted to do the things that I enjoyed, and I wanted to be my own person. At 2 years old, I was very much my own person. And she was one of the people who I told my mom she needed to get me under control. The people at the Sabbath school and the church also told my mom she needed to get me under control. So she read the book Children the Challenge, which I don't recommend. And while it did have the concept of using consequences, my mother used the book to help her feel comfortable controlling me. And so around 2 began the process of control. There were a lot of people who brought control into my life at that point. You know, it was interesting because up until then, like for instance, my aunt tells a story that when she came to visit, my aunt and my dad wanted to get away from whatever my mom was doing. It was too much for them. So they went to the beach because the beach is fairly close to Loma Linda in Southern California, an hour away. So they took me out to the beach and they sat me down in the sand and told me to play in the sand while they went out and swam in the water. And the entire time I sat in the sand and played. So I was definitely the kind of child who did what I was told and had a lot of fun with myself. And my dad felt comfortable leading me, even for as unafraid of water as I was. He felt comfortable just leaving me while he went swimming. And my aunt obviously just followed my dad's lead. So I was the kind of child that he could leave in the sand to play while he went and played in the water. And I was definitely the kind of child who was very free-spirited. When my mom would take me shopping, I say hi to all the people I saw. Hi to all the people. And she was so embarrassed. She didn't like talking to strangers. And so she would tell me to be quiet and to not speak to strangers. But I was very friendly with all the people who were around me. So between 2 and 3, my mother broke my will. And later in my life, she actually told me, um, I broke your will when you were two. I felt that it was best for you to not be your true, authentic self, your bubbly, fun, happy personality. Um, that was very uncomfortable for her. So here I am, and my personality really did change. I am an introvert. I have trouble speaking to strangers. I obviously I don't want to speak that into my reality. I again would love to change my personality in order to change my personal reality. As Joe Dispenza says, change your personality and change your personal reality. Become more outgoing again, more social again over time. The first step is to find healing and rest, and then move into a state where I'm more able to be outgoing and free. Anyway, so I wanted to talk about my aunt coming to visit. I was really happy that she came to visit. I've always really loved my aunt. But she was one of the people who encouraged my mom to begin the process of putting me down into a box. It was always the one that was very appropriate, very appropriate and proper. Did everything the right way. Well, according to my mom. What is right? Is it right to be outgoing, or is it right to be an introvert? Is it right to live in the country, or is it right to live in the city? Is it right to be wealthy, or is it right to be poor? I don't see it as it's a right way or a wrong way. It is learning to be in the moment, to let go of the old trappings and to be.